Happy Friday, everybody. What is up? It's Friday, January 30th, 2026. It's 8:30 on the East Coast. It's 7:30 in Texas, and it's 6:35. I'm 5 minutes faster than the rest of you guys. It's 6:35 on the West or AZ. Happy Friday. It's your boy Goo. To the left, my man Mark Deeds Klodzinski. And right down below is our man Jay Camarero from John's Window Cleaning. Jay, my man, where are you from and what is shaking?
So how's it going, fellas?
Hold on, actually, sorry. Hold on. We got to give him a proper intro. My bad. All right. Jay from John's. What city and state are you in? Because I know you do Northeast, but what city and state?
I'm in Fairfield, Connecticut, about an hour, 45 minutes to an hour north of New York City, right off 95.
All right, everybody, let's give Jay a warm welcome from Fairfield, Connecticut, to John's Window Cleaning. Jay Camarero. All right, now we can get into it. Happy Friday, Jay. What's shaking, my man?
Happy Friday, fellas. It's cold one up here in Connecticut. We're with the wind chill. We're at -9, so it's it's brutal. They're saying with the wind chill, we're not supposed to get out of free negative temperatures today. And Deeds, you know how that is from up in Buffalo.
Yep, that's too cold. But all you do is put on layers and get through it, you know.
Yeah, I mean, we do diners on Friday mornings. We've done them for a couple years. And just because of the weather, the last couple of weeks, we moved them up to Thursday because yesterday was about 10, 15 degrees warmer. And you guys know that makes all the difference, especially in a cold weather climate.
Yep, for sure. Are you guys do you use a lot of like the windshield wiper fluid and soap, or is it like 50-50?
Oh, yeah, that's our best friend. So I tell the guys, start out 50-50, maybe even, 25% blue juice, windshield washer fluid, and 75% soap and water. And then just if you have to go, if it's freezing on the glass, go straight windshield washer fluid. Yesterday, even though it was in the single digits with the wind chill, they still had to go straight just windshield washer fluid.
Yeah, that's crazy, but it's part of the job. That's what it is. You're going to get a frosty glass or you get a clean glass. Just depends on the ratios.
Especially with route, you have it every week. You have to show up. There's no skipping the week. That's actually how we picked up the diners. Was the last company that did them. They wouldn't show up in the wintertime.
Oh shit!
Straight skinning, right?
Yeah,
Is that what you guys call it, Becky? Skinning or skimming? What do you call it? Like if you the large properties, large jobs, stuff like that, you do. Half of the building and then leave the other half and just not do it. I mean,
skim, you're skimming it off the top. Yeah. That's
got it. So I'm glad you're giving people some tips on how to clean in the cold. Some of our best partners in the industry are Northeast guys. We got Squeegee Tom, Corey Climus, your Connecticut homie. We got a bunch of cats that are up in the Northeast. And what is the best way for you to stay warm and stay busy during these cold months?
It's inside work is key. Like last week, over the weekend we got about 20 inches of snow. So and that's a lot for us. I mean, Deeds up in Buffalo, that's a regular snowstorm for you guys.
That's a weekend. Yeah, that's a regular weekend.
Yeah, but down here, I mean, 6 to 12 is a good amount for us. So once you get up to that 20 inches plus. But last Friday, we have a bunch of new constructions on the books between houses and commercial. And I told a couple of the builders that we need to get the outsides done before this snow or else it's not happening. So last Friday, the guys did 2 outside post-construction houses, 1 commercial. And then next week, we have 2 of them for inside work. And then I'm trying to get the 3rd one for next week, too. But mainly in the wintertime, I tell my guys, I try to get you to December 31st, and then I lay a majority of my guys off. They collect unemployment, and I keep a small staff, about 2 to 4 on in the wintertime, just to do the route work, the new construction, whatever other stuff we have come up. But I do let them know it's limited hours. It's pretty much 20 hours a week, and we work as many days as we can.
Smart. So how many typical employees do you have on a busy season like March, April, May? Do you have 6 or 8 or how many guys are you rocking with?
I run around 12 guys, about 12 to could get as high as 14. This last year though, I tried to run more lean and try to maximize profit as much as possible. So actually, we did more revenue in 2025 than 2024, and I had less techs, and my profit was higher too. My net, which is
Always
really
good.
yes.
Find the
So
sweet spot.
So
yes.
speaking of profit and numbers, you've been putting out some content lately that is a little different than what we've been seeing from guys like us, right? A lot of times we put out content that is just showing us cleaning, adding music to it, doing whatever, some funky stuff. But you've been
Spinning.
spinning the squeegee, doing all of our stuff. But you've been putting out some stuff lately that involves numbers and showing how you and John's Window Cleaning have continuously built and structured growth. How's that? How is the filming coming along? Are you happy with the way it's coming out? What kind of feedback and responses are you getting? And what made you decide you wanted to do this?
So what made me decide I wanted to do it is I had a business coach, which I have stated in the videos. I had a business coach for 3 years, and before I started with my business coach, I was right around 330,000 in revenue. And the last year I got done with him, I was over 900,000.
Damn.
Yes, and business coaches tend to get a bad rap, and they tend, especially in the groups and everything.
Yeah.
I'm not trying to be a coach. I'm not trying to be a guru. That's not what I'm trying to do. But what I feel like is, you see, from my experience, you see people hop on the forum. They say, "Oh, your close rate should be this, or you should be doing this," but they don't show their numbers to back it up. So,
Sure.
what I wanted to do was show numbers and how you can scale, and also try to give people a path without having to do paid advertising or marketing, because some people don't have it in the budget. Some people, it doesn't work for them, and there's more than one ways to skin a cat. So
Yeah.
I just wanted to show people that there is a different way to do it, but actually put numbers to it, and not just theory, not just say I did this or I think this works. Like, actually show people the proof and the power in tracking your numbers, knowing your numbers. And I've received a lot of great feedback, a lot of comments, a lot of messages. I've hopped on a Zoom call with a couple guys. Actually, I had 2 gentlemen come down to my shop in Fairfield, did a shop tour with me, spent a couple hours with them, just talking shop, going over some numbers, some different things. And
Nice.
I feel like it's great to talk shop with different people, no matter the level of their company or your company, because I learn from people whose companies are, doing 50, 100,000, and I learn from people who are doing 5 million plus. So I feel like talking shop is beneficial for everybody involved.
Dude, you nailed it on the head. And let me, you also said something right there. The coaches sometimes get a bad rap. I kind of agree with you, but I also kind of, some of them have earned them, I guess, maybe.
I agree.
Because of the amount of stuff that they put in certain groups. However, not everybody deserves a bad rap. And I feel like sometimes, Jay, my man, you sometimes have gotten a little bit of a bad rap because people think that you don't know what you're doing or whatever, because you use different methods to clean. There you go. Wax on, wax off, man. However, you've been successful and the company's been successful for many years, so you must be doing something right. I think that the way you have handled yourself and the way you carry yourself is something to be commended, because you said before we came on air, shit, man, that's just the internet. You know what I mean? And that's a great outlook on life, and one way that you can, I don't know, just deal with the stuff that comes out with you. Let that shit roll off your back, and I admire that about you. How long have you been cleaning? How long has the business been operating? And where did you start in the business, in the industry?
So I'm second generation. My father started the company in 1988, and I'm a 90s baby, early 90s though. So the company was around before I was even born. And just a little backstory. My father started this as a part-time gig, like a lot of people have. My father, he got out of the Marine Corps, and then he took a job at Sikorsky's, which makes helicopters. They make the Black Hawk.
Yep.
And my dad worked there for about 7 years, started this part-time. He actually started it kind of like Keith Kalfas did, as like a like total property maintenance company. And then my dad saw the need for window cleaning, and also liked that with the window cleaning, you go to the job, you do it, you're done. You're not going back to the same property day after day after day. So my dad used to work third shift overnight, and then during the day he would work doing the window cleaning. He did that for about 3 years, and then he told me that when he was making more in 3 days washing windows than a full week of regular work, he knew what he had to do.
Yep.
So it's a family business. I have one sister. I don't have any brothers. I have one sibling, and it's my sister. And so growing up, I was out helping my dad on the weekends in the summer. Like I said, I'm an early 90s baby. You know how we love to be outside. You know that
Yeah.
heat, you know that glue, like
Before the cell phones and shit.
cell phone. Like even back then, it was like what, Nintendo 64, the Sega. Like we weren't playing games like that. You know, that wasn't really a thing. So I liked being outside. I would work with my dad. I would wash screens. I started washing screens at about 8, 9 years old for my dad.
Yeah.
And like I said, it was my summer job, my weekend job. When I was in high school, same thing. I would help my dad after school. And then I went to college for finance. I worked in finance for about 3 to 4 years. I then came back, started working for my dad full time in 2017. And at that point, even though I had experience, I just started as a regular tech. And my dad was a owner operator. It was himself with like 2 or 3 guys.
Yeah.
There was some points in his business where it was just him. There was some points where it was him and like 4 or 5 guys. But when I joined my dad, it was him, one full-time helper, and then myself. We added another guy, and in 2018 we split off to 2 trucks. Bought a second truck, and then 2019 my father got sick and couldn't work in the field anymore. Literally my dad, he was sick for a while, but then one day while he was working, he got really, really sick, had to go to the hospital. And that was the last window he ever washed. And that was back in 2019. So I then, took over the business. And when COVID hit in 2020, it was myself and 2 guys, one of them who still is with us today. But, I told myself when COVID happened that I wasn't going to let it ruin what my father's built for, 30 years. And I decided to really go all in. I wasn't sure up until about 2019, 2020 that this is what I was going to do full time. And then once I made that decision, I went full in. I scaled the company accordingly. About 2020 we did right around 200,000 in revenue, like maybe like 190, somewhere around there. And then I was on the truck until 2024, so I was still in the field working with the guys. 2022 I was in the field every day. 2023 it was less. 2024 it was about maybe like 70-30 paperwork to field, and then last year was the first year I was out of the field fully.
Nice. It's got to feel good on the legs and all that.
Yeah, I mean, I've done a lot of climbing. I've done a lot of ladder work, a lot of roof work. I mean, Barnes & Noble bookstores, you guys are familiar with those. We used to have a contract for the whole state of Connecticut.
Shit.
Yes, used to have to do them monthly. And then, going out there in the wintertime, I'll always remember this. We were doing one. I don't wear gloves when I work, even if it's like 0 negative. I'm like T-squeegee, no gloves.
Yeah.
But I remember one time we were doing a Barnes & Noble, and you know how after you squeegee, you get the residual water that's left on your rubber?
Yeah.
It was literally so cold, it was icy on the rubber. And
I can't get down with that, man. I just can't.
It's part of it up here, it's part of the cold weather cleaning. And so I've done everything from traditional to commercial, operating lifts. I mean, I operate 80s, 120s, residential. I've pretty much done from everything from residential to route to low rise. So I am second generation. I know people, they might try to clown me with the rags and this and that. And I used to try to explain myself, but I don't think it's important anymore too. I know what I've done in the past, and it's I know what I can do. So
it's all money.
That's part of the reason why we wanted to have you on too. You have knowledge, you have experience, you've done all sorts of different things. And a lot of the people in this industry, they know you. They know what's up and they understand you. A matter of fact, we got a bunch of our friends that are here that wanted to say what up. Damian Schreckengoss, Cody Smith, Tyler Levi Smith, the man, the myth, Frank Rave. He specifically said, I don't know if you're reading the
no.
Okay. So he says, first and foremost, are you coming to Orlando next month, Jay? And then he also followed it up with stating, what did he say? I remember seeing Jay starting. I always liked him, man. Like Frank, if Frank Rave is giving you some love and some shout, you know you're doing something right, right?
Heck
Yeah, Frank's my guy. I met him in person in Nashville in I think it was 24. I think it was. And I mean, me and Frank, we've communicated online, we've talked and everything. I told him I need to go across the pond. I need to go over there and visit him.
Yeah.
But no, it's I appreciate the love from Rave. I really do. And Orlando, I'm not sure if I'm going yet. I am a last minute kind of guy when it comes to events like that.
Okay.
So I normally I'll buy the ticket a week in advance, buy my plane ticket a week in advance, and get the hotel. So it'll be a last minute game time decision.
Gotcha. And speaking of legends, Craig Hensel says glass polishing, glass waxing used to be extremely popular. Even when I started, we still polish and wax glass. But he also went on to say, I wonder what would happen if Jay and I put our office and field minds together. That sounds like a lethal and crazy combo, right? Yeah. You and Craig putting your minds together. That sounds like it could be awesome.
Oh, Craig's a wealth of knowledge, like just the experience he has from being in the field and just seeing what he's seen. Because you guys know this, there's nothing like being in the field and experiencing things.
Sure. Yeah. The fun of every day's a new day when it comes to windows. You know, it's always every job is different. You deal with lizard shit, you deal with silicone, you deal with, new glass, old glass, French panes, giant panes. And that's the cool thing about this business. It's not never dull. It's always something new.
Well, that's one thing that drew me to this, even when I was growing up, is that you literally see something new every day. It's not rinse and repeat. And actually, when I interview people, I use that as a selling point. I tell them, if you like different things, if you like being somewhere new every day, this is a great job for you to have.
Yeah. Yeah. You're not just stuck in an office desk staring at a computer screen all day. You're out there.
Yeah. What was it like going from finance to back into the service industry?
Well, the service industry is in my blood. So
yeah.
It's like I said, it's something I've grown up with. And working in corporate was different. It's very hard from going to having like a self-employed kind of like service industry background to going into corporate America because of the different structure. But I learned a lot of great things in corporate America. I learned some great skills, how to interact with people. And at the end of the day, though, it was a hard transition, and it was so much easier transitioning back to doing customer service more.
Yeah. And obviously there's some labor and some skill that goes into what it is that we do, cleaning windows and all that. But what it boils down to, in my opinion, is customer service, right? We make the clients happy. We schedule them around, their availability and our availability. And the main goal is to leave the client and customer satisfied, right?
Goo, I'm happy you brought that up, because actually I tell this to everybody I interview, and I literally repeat this so many times to my team that they all know that this is how we operate. Yeah. I believe we're a customer service business. Washing windows is a task that we perform.
Secondary.
Correct.
So you brought up 2020, you brought up COVID, and I kind of have told this story a little bit about myself and the growth in our business as well. If you were, not you, Jay, but the people that are watching, if you guys were around in 2019, 2020, when COVID was happening, it was bizarre. It really, I feel like it really, really, really highlighted the customer service aspect of our industry and us as a nation. This sounds kind of corny and whatnot, but people were all locked in their houses. They didn't have anywhere else to go. They hardly had anybody to talk to unless it was on Skype, or unless it was like somebody that was in their family unit, or unless it was on phone or what have you. And for a lot of us who were actually cleaning at that time, we were still able to go into people's houses. So our customer service aspect of business really became what got us notorious in our industry, or in a good way or bad way. If you had provided good customer service and provided how do I put this? If you provided some sort of sense of comfort and or relativity to and to your clients, it was like they were so happy to have you in their homes and so ready, willing, and able to share that they had a good time getting their windows cleaned with anyone and everyone, that you could build your business and what have you basically on that alone. Am I right?
No, you're right 1,000%.
Yeah.
Yeah, I had an old man smoking cigarettes, drinking coffee at his table, talking the whole time, just happy as fuck because he's been stuck in his house for months, and it's like, I don't have to wear a mask, do I? No, take that shit off. You're good. It was a weird year, but a lot of people, they appreciated that, having the window cleaner around.
Yeah, and Craig says, I was not locked in. I refused those orders. Freedom! And that was a great also part about our business is we were not, I guess I deemed myself essential. I didn't care what anybody
We're
else.
janitors. We got to clean up stuff.
So essential. It was like, look, man, I'm doing my gig. So just kept moving on and doing it and paying it forward. And I've also mentioned this before that I feel like in some aspects that time of period of our lives, I became like a therapist, a friend, a confidant to those that I never even met because they were needing someone to talk to. And if I could just be an ear to bend for a couple minutes and then leave somebody with a better view than they had before I got there, it was like a win-win for everybody. And it was a magical time for me. I was also, living life as a recovering alcoholic. I was seeing new things differently for the first time in my life in 26 years. So I felt like it was all new. It was all fresh. It was all clean, kind of like the Outcast song. So fresh and so clean. It was like
2021, 2020 actually brought forth a lot of new blood to the industry too. So that was so fresh and so clean with all the new guys rushing in there. They all got their unemployment or stimulus checks and they're like, I need to buy some rags and I need to buy some, my window cleaning stuff and get the ball rolling. So 2021, you started seeing a lot more saturation in the market. So you really had to hone down your skills, get your shit in order because you had to stand out from the guys that were just starting and stuff like that.
That's true. Yeah. Jay, I'm going to say something real quick. I think you'll probably back me up on this one. But if you'd already established yourself as someone who's willing to go that extra mile and be that generous person and share with others and not be an asshole, you already won, a step ahead of the game. And Jay, it sounds like you guys and the gang at John's Window Cleaning were already doing that as well because you built your reputation and you built your business on service.
Yes, my father, he had great customer service and he was great at networking. And one thing a very successful client of ours told me was, you have a great foundation here. You just have to build the house.
Exactly.
And what I did was I took the same principles my father has about customer service, networking, and quality work, and I made sure that I kept those values the same as I scaled. My dad always told me, you gauge the customer. If they want to talk, you talk to them. If they don't want to talk, don't talk to them. But you guys know this, you can feel out in the first 10 minutes being inside somebody's house, whether they're going to want to talk to you or not.
Yep.
It's almost like a Uber driver. I used this correlation yesterday. You get into an Uber or a Lyft, you can automatically sense what kind of ride you're going to have. Either the guy's going to want to chop it up constantly, or the guy's just like going to feel you out and decide, hey, I'm going to let this guy tell me if he wants to talk or not. So usually you that first 2-3 miles of your Lyft ride, what kind of ride you're in for. And it's the same with the clients. They're going to let you know exactly, hey, I'm either busy and I don't want to talk, or hey, I could use an ear to bend. And this is also where management, Jay, yourself or your dad or whomever's running the show, has to also put the best person forward for that job. Now, you don't want to go you don't want to go put somebody who doesn't like to communicate, who just wants to work. You don't want to have them be necessarily the inside guy if that's not something they're comfortable and or good at, right? You want to put somebody in there who's a good cleaner, but also a good chit chatter, somebody who can bounce back and forth for the little conversation, right?
I feel like part of one of the jobs of being a manager or owner, especially when you have technicians, is putting people in a position to succeed, not fail, and finding them the right seat on the bus. I get some flack for this. I have guys that specifically do inside work. So my techs that go into a customer's house, that is all they do for me is inside work. Because like you said, Goo, they're very personable. They're very careful. They're meticulous. You and me both know it takes a different skill set to work inside, and you do deeds too, working inside compared to working outside. And I'm upfront when I interview people. I say, you're not going into a customer's house. You're going to start working outside. And I phrase it like this. I phrase it like, if you knock something over outside, nobody really cares. But you knock something over inside, or you go to bend down and that belt on a bucket drips water, like, we have some serious issues there. And also from my experience, some guys, they don't want to go inside.
Oh yeah.
So, and I'm so glad that you brought this up. So again, I've talked about my partner, Billy Sloan. He's been, he and I have been buddies since 1993, right? He's been cleaning for 20 plus years, and he's more than capable of going inside and doing interior work. He's not a chatty Cathy. It's just not his jam. He doesn't necessarily, want to be having full on conversations. He just wants to grind and get out. So you know what Billy does? He does exterior work. If I'm not on site, he'll happily go in and do it, but it's not his jam. If I'm on site, I go make sure I do that because I'm out there trying to drum up a little more business. I'm trying to get that person to give me a little more info that I can not use against them, but you know what I mean? Like, they're telling me about their family, and I try to find out where they live, if they have a window cleaner, if they own a business, you know what I mean? I'm always trying to get that next gig.
Exactly.
So you're exactly right. You put the people in a position to succeed. One of the things that I do too, I don't know, I'm guessing you do this too. If you have somebody who's extremely skilled, like in my circumstance, Billy, I let him go do whatever, he can go do anything, but because I can also trust him, I make sure he's compensated properly, right? You take care of your guys to make sure that you get the job done properly.
No, you have to take care of your team. And, it doesn't matter if you have one person or 100 people. You have to take care of your team because without them, the work doesn't get done. I mean, you got, 2 hands. You don't got 6. You know what I mean?
I'm not an octopus.
And actually, that customer that told me about how I just needed to build a house. I had a solid foundation with what my dad taught me. He was a serial entrepreneur. He lived in New York City, and he had a weekend house in Westport, and he used to turn around failing businesses. And he told me, John, a lot of it is pay is very important. It's important to compensate people, but it's also important to be understanding and treat your employees just like you would treat the owner of the company. Like, you really have to give them that time, give them the just the positivity, be understanding. People are human. Culture is a big word nowadays. And I mean, can we curse on here or no?
Yeah, dude. Yeah.
All right. So people say show up and cook your guys breakfast, have the basketball hoop there, have the snacks in the games. That's all fluff and bullshit.
We don't want a pizza party. Show me the money.
Exactly. And also be understanding. Everybody has things that come up. I can't tell you how many business owners, window cleaners or pressure washers that I talk to, they have blackout dates where their people cannot take days off.
Sure.
I don't understand that for the life of me. I feel like part of being a business owner is you're supposed to solve that problem. When you have somebody call out, take the day off, that's part of your job, is to figure out how to get the work done.
Mm-hmm. No, I totally agree with that. And, too, one of the things, too, is if you've already built your business or service, your clients are going to understand when stuff happens. So as I mentioned, I'd already had my business. I started my business in 2012. But in the beginning, I was like, I've told this many times too, I was an alcoholic and I was just basically collecting cash, right? 2019, I stopped drinking. 2020, we had a baby, and it was COVID, and my kid's home, and my wife's pregnant, and shit was happening. I mean, you know what I mean? And there was time when you have to reschedule on somebody because at that point too, it was also only me. So I'd have to relay the information to the clients, and I'd say, hey, I'm sorry, my daughter is sick, or my wife is ill, or my kid's home, or whatever it is. But because I had already built that trust in that relationship, and they knew that I was always going to take care of them, it just might have to be tomorrow. It was never a big deal. I can't tell you that I ever lost a job because I couldn't make it on a specific time. You know what I mean? And that's a good thing. As long as you built that trust and that faith in those and that rapport with the clients, it's very difficult to take that away. You really have to screw up to lose something like that, right?
No, 100%, Goo. And building the rapport is a big thing with people. And as long as you're upfront and honest, from my experience, a lot of people are understanding. 99% of people.
Yeah.
Are.
That's the definite thing I noticed about this business too. One
thing you said, though, just how you treat clients like that, you should treat your technicians, your team members the same way.
100.
I have a policy. It's 1 week notice for time off. You need to request it 1 week in advance. Now, let's say somebody has something come up where they have an unexpected appointment or this or that. They tell me 2 days before. From my experience, if you say, no, you have to come to work, they're going to call out 9 times out of 10.
Yeah. So what's the difference, right? You're screwed anyways.
And then you're creating like a negative feeling with that team member, because it's like, here, I'm coming to work every day, busting my ass for this company. I have something that comes up. I really need this time off. And here's this asshole telling me, no, you have to be here.
Yeah. It's not fair.
From my experience, when you truly are understanding with people, they will run through a wall for you, and they will show up every day when they're able to.
You nailed it on the head. And they'll show up on time. They'll show up early. They'll go that extra mile. And that's how you build that culture that we speak of. We're talking about the interior work and the clients and the staff that we may have we're managing. Nathan Pickett says, I think telling your employees you feel they wouldn't be good inside may knock down their confidence level and may not be the best they can be. That's just him. You're possibly right. There's a couple things that we can do to go about this to elevate their game too. Let's say that they're almost ready to make that jump to start doing interiors and things like that. You bring that employee, that tech in with you, and you walk them through your process. You show them, this is how I handle my clients. This is how we create small talk. This is what gets the juices flowing. And once you relay the message, and once you share with your employee or your tech or whoever, your guy or gal, once they see that it's okay to be comfortable and it's okay to kind of let your guard down, as long as you're still keeping that conversation flowing and keeping that work moving, it builds their self-esteem. We can do 2 things at once, right? We can do 3 or 4 multiple things at once. We can train, we can build confidence, we can build rapport. We can, also while you're doing that, you're allowing your homeowner to now become comfortable with someone else other than you. You're no longer the only forward-facing person in your company. And that in itself is huge. You don't always want to be the only guy that clients need. I'll tell you from experience, 4 straight years of being the only guy and having clients think that you're going to be the only person that shows up to their house. It's all well and good in the beginning, but eventually your back is going to hurt. Your knees are going to creak. Your fingers are going to hurt. You're going to need to have somebody else. I don't know, man. It's just a thought. And it's one thing that I've noticed that works well. What has been your approach to training people for interior work?
So first, they'll start out on route work, and also have the conversation with them. Like, do you feel comfortable going inside? Is going inside something you want to do? Do you feel more comfortable outside? And if they are comfortable going inside, then I will start them out on basic route work, Then we'll work our way up to some basic commercial. And then when I put them in a house, I put them in new construction first. No furniture, nothing in
Yeah.
there. God forbid, we can figure it out if something happens on a new construction. Even like I had a newer guy inside. He was on a 2-foot step ladder because sometimes the first floor windows are a little bigger, so you need that 2-foot inside.
Reach
And
out.
he stepped off the 2-foot step. He kind of stumbled back a little bit into this fucking chandelier in the dining room. It was new construction. The ones where it's over the table and the chandelier, it's like head level type thing.
But there's no table there. Yeah.
Exactly. And there were all these dangling like crystal things. He broke 4 of them off clear.
Shit.
And he was inside for me maybe 3 months at that point, maybe 2 months. And he was extremely apologetic and sorry. And I told him, it's okay. I'll handle this with the builder. Let's just please learn a big lesson from this on how accidents do happen, but we have to be careful. And one of the outside guys saw that and he was like, Jay, I don't know if I want to do inside work because there's more variables than
they get scared.
I ever thought.
Yeah.
But to kind of piggyback with that, right? I told the builder that we broke the 4 of them. I didn't have him find out. I threw in cleaning and installing all of the screens. And I told him, if you want, you could take something off the invoice to fix that chandelier. He didn't take any money off the invoice.
Nice.
And we still do work with that builder. And that was a builder. Actually, my father had a relationship. We're going on almost 20-year relationship with that builder now.
That's dope.
Awesome. Yep. And that's how being honest and upfront with damages, stuff like that, will go a long way and speaks volumes to yourself and your business, to any customer or subcontractor guy, that you are worth your weight in gold. You do what you say you do, and you're upfront and honest.
Exactly. And once they graduate from the new construction, I will put them with another inside tech, and my inside guys are mostly crew leaders. So I will put them with a crew leader who's inside. I'm not going to send a new guy to go do a 10,000 square foot house because they're going to get intimidated. Somebody that's brand new inside. But I give them, 12,000 square foot house with another person inside. They do the first floor. The experienced person does the second floor. And they're able to work with the person on the first floor, so they also don't feel alone.
Got it. So
how often do you turn down inside work or construction cleans? Like, do you have stipulations or red flags?
I knew that was coming. Good answer.
Never. Number one, I don't give my guys razor blades. Only my crew leaders have razor blades, and they're not. Okay. We have the 6-inch blades at the shop, but they get the little straight edge ones, and we use steel wool. I'm very big with the quad 0 steel wool because anytime you put a blade to glass, you do risk scratching it.
Understood. Let's get into the what's behind Deed's shoulder there, and something that you've been kind of known for, and that is using some towels to do some windows when it comes to interior work and Frenchies.
IWCA towel. Very nice.
Oh, snazzy. So you kind of you got known for doing some towel work and what have you. I find it to be one way to skin a cat, and that's a term that you used earlier. When did that
Swiss Army knife? You got different.
When did that come about, or when did you guys decide that was going to be a solid method of getting things done? And how long you guys been doing it that way? And I know it's not something that is done every time, so I want people to understand this too.
Basically French windows, especially, I'm sure.
Correct. French windows. We're not ragging 1/1s or big plate glass, or it's French panes. However, though, I will add this little caveat. We will wash a 1/1 with a rag the first time, okay, to get a majority of the dirt off, because you guys know this. Every time you throw your scrubber, your T-bar, whatever you want to call, strip washer, whatever you want to call it, to the glass, it gets dirty and dirtier every time. So we try to take a majority of the dirt off the first time with the rag. That way, especially inside, you're limiting the liability of drips. Like, you guys know this. You do the inside of a first timer and it's just dripping black shit everywhere. Like,
not fun, not easy.
No. So also too, it keeps your strip washer cleaner longer. And we work off of a squirt bottle. We don't on residential. So for route work and commercial, we do work off of a slop bucket. We dunk it, regular thing. But on a house, we work off of a squirt bottle because you're always applying fresh fluid to the glass. So whenever you dip that strip washer into the slop bucket, the first time it's clean, but every time after that, it gets dirtier and dirtier and dirtier. So we use a squirt bottle. That way the fresh fluid on the glass, but also it's a cleaner look to the client. I can't tell you how many times clients ask me, are you going to bring a bucket into my house? Here's the sink. And then they tell me horror stories about the last guy that was carrying the bucket up the stairs and kicked it and dropped the water on their runner. From my experience, it's just a cleaner look. But no, we've been washing French panes by hand for a very long time. That's how my father's always done it. And this is the reason why. Here in Connecticut, we have many different styles of windows, and we also have many different sizes of French panes.
Yeah.
So you can have a house that literally has 8, 10 different size French panes.
Sure.
And what we do is we send the guys in with their belt, their pouch, the squirt bottle, and then, they have towels and that, but it's a cleaner look because they're not bringing in like a bunch of different channels and having to switch stuff out. And also another thing is for speed. All right. When you do squeegee, you get the water that settles at the bottom of the French pane, then you have to detail.
Yep. And then it's still dripping 5 minutes later. You're like, fuck, there's more drips. What the fuck?
You understand, Deeds, especially too sometimes with the grates, they're not fully, it's not like the true French pane where it's individual pieces of glass.
Sure.
It will kind of drip behind. So when you wash it with the rag, spray, wash with one rag, spray, wash with a second rag, then light spray, dry it, or buff it if you want to call that. But you don't have as much work with detailing your corners.
You sucked up all the juice. It's not getting anywhere.
Correct. Also, too, you guys know this with the T-bar, it's kind of hard to get in the corner sometimes.
Yeah.
So when the guys are washing, I tell them, make sure you get the corner, because this with French panes, there's nothing worse than having them rounded.
The white
it's like a halo effect
in each
almost.
Corner. Yeah.
Exactly.
This is spot.
And also, it's incredibly easy to teach somebody to hand wash French panes. So not only is it faster, but it's easier to teach.
So Deeds and I had a conversation off air yesterday, and we were no debate, conversation. You know what I mean? We're just like, we totally get it. Like, it's so weird that people in our industry throw shade at other people when they don't even know what the fuck they're talking about or have no idea scope of job. You know what I mean? We all have opinions on things, and sometimes we all want our opinions to be validated, but sometimes people just throw stuff out there just to be, I don't even know what. But one of the best things about our industry is, like you said, there's all sorts of different ways to do things. And once you find the most effective way to get it done, do what works, right?
Yeah,
that's right.
I had a job yesterday or 2 days ago that was all inside. They just had their softwood floors redone. And the guy had a double door French panes. I was cleaning the inside, so sight unseen. I was like, I get to clean those. But I used a rag on all of them because I'm not going to have the drips coming down or going behind the frames and stuff and making it look like slop. So, I'm just a happy guy with a spray away can doing like 26, 36 French panes with a couple different towels just to make sure that it looks good. And it will look better. There is no soap on the edge, because you're not cleaning one large pane of glass. You're cleaning like 36 individual windows. So I had a customer last week who was pissed off because I didn't bring the right equipment to clean their interior front door window. It's got like 46 panes of glass, and I didn't bring it big enough in the ladder to get up there. And I'm not going to sit there and try and cut it up with a pole or anything. But yeah, there's different tools for different jobs. And the windows came out great. And we've got a guy, Squeegee Tom, who does New Hampshire, and he does antique homes from the 1900s, 1800s, and you watch him cut up, and he does them all with a squeegee and a small T-bar, and it's like, damn, my hat's off to him, because that's a lot of intricate work to have to, mop it and then squeegee it and then towel it. So toweling, it's good for Frenchies for sure.
Like I said, it's to cut the time down. From my experience, it is faster, and then also too, with training, when you're putting new techs in the field, the whole goal is to try to train them as quickly as possible to get as efficient as possible. And from my experience, like I said, it's just a lot easier training them with the rags. And also, like you said, Deeds, you're not risking dripping stuff on the floor. You're not.
Yep.
It's a lot cleaner. And our customers, they don't move anything. Part of our service is we are going to come in, do the work, and leave your house just as it was when we got there.
So Jay,
Right.
I am Team Jay on this one. I agree. I think one of my main selling points is like, look, I'm going to come clean your house, but you don't have to move anything. And I know Deeds kind of disagrees with me on this one.
I'll move shit, but when they have knickknacks, paddywhacks,
yeah.
I don't give a fuck. I'll go in and clean it. I feel like that also, here's what I find to be true for me. I find that if I offer to do that kind of stuff, it's also building trust. It's also building that rapport. It's also giving me that tiny little bit of time to communicate with the client and build that trust. And they almost are forced to have a conversation with me if I'm in their house moving shit, right?
Yes.
So that's just one of those things that I like. I guess that it's just something that I started doing, and I just want to keep doing, because it's if I ask somebody to do work for me, then it just makes them more likely to say I don't want to do it. They're already paying me to do something. It's like,
I'll get somebody else to do it who's going to do it and not, charge me for it or whatever. I had a little old lady. I did an exterior window clean, and she had me come in at the end and take down. She has like curtains, right? So she said, "Can you just stand on the couch?" And I was like, "Oh shit," because I'm all dirty from pressure washing and windows. But yeah, just doing things that the other guy can't do, or what their customer won't or can't do. They can't move antique French desk away from the window, nor do they want to. So it's smart to be able to offer that.
And Deeds, I'm on the same page as you, though. We do, when the customer schedules, we do ask them if they have any like knickknacks, family heirlooms, anything that's like,
important.
Like, exactly, that
lamps.
you can't replace. Like, there's no monetary value on it. If they want to move it, we suggest they do. But if they don't, we can still work around it, do what we need to do.
Sure.
I'm a big fan, the 2-foot step ladder for inside, because Deeds, you brought it up. The desk that's like 100 years old that you can't move, or if you try to move it, the leg's just gonna fucking break. And
yep, you bought a new desk. Fuck, damn it.
Exactly.
So you can't replace.
Yeah.
Yeah. And the 2-foot step, you could get over it, you can reach. And also too, we use so my guys, they all have drop cloths, like we buy bath towels.
Yeah.
And then we also have the moving pads, the black ones.
Nice.
So if there's a couch, a dresser, something that we can't move, we will put the moving pads over it, so it gives that extra layer of protection.
Oh, smooth. You're always prepared. So you've paid attention enough to the show of what we do here. We'd like to have a little fun with some of our guests. And all in jest and fun. It's not done to hurt people's feelings, but sometimes we come up with something fun. And Deej, you came up with something recently for Hunter Nugent, but you came up with something for our man Jay here, right?
Yeah, the window cleaners of genius.
Are you ready to drop that bad boy on him, or what?
I'm going to drop it. Yeah, I have a notebook of shit I've been wanting to do for a couple of years, like on different shows that I've been wanting to do. And so I've got like a whole bunch of notes for funny skits, funny shit like that. But this one came to mind. I'm going to go ahead and
hold on real quick before you drop that too. Jay, I'm telling you right now, he's been wanting to do a couple of these, and I haven't seen. I just saw the intro of it. I haven't seen it yet either. So you and I are going to be viewing this for the first time together, along with all of our friends. I hope you guys like it, man. What you got, Deeds?
It's just something fun to pop in, just to keep it light and fun here.
Doing Deeds presents Window Cleaners of Genius. Window Cleaners of Genius. Today we salute you, Mr. Surgical Towel on the Glass Man. Surgical Towel on the Glass Man. Only you know what it's like to have a fabric softener on the spin cycle. Total and utter chaos. Thanks to you, $1 million estates don't stand a chance against your right-hand rag dance. It's all in the wrist, baby. Spray, wipe away, and collect the check. On to the next house, baby. A quick picture and it's deposited. So don't just stand there, oh cleaner of windows. Grab a rag. Those Frenchies ain't gonna rub themselves.
Some of them do.
So grab yourself a couple dozen towels, Mr. Surgical Towel on the Glass Man. collect that check. Mr. Surgical Towel on the glass, man.
And collect that check. Just like that, Jay.
My homage to Jay. Thank you.
That was awesome, Deeds. I love the vocals, dude. Like,
I can't think about it too hard because then I'll like overanalyze it and it'll take an hour to film something. So I try to do it quick because it's just something fun.
well, it's the same with those videos that I do. If I overthink it, I'm gonna like record it 4, 5, 6 times. But if I just shoot it, then I'm good to go. You know, just don't overthink it. Shoot it. Keep it to a couple minutes, and like you said, you know, you could sit there do it 10 times for hours.
Yeah, I'm currently working on an intro video for us, but I'll give that when that's ready. An intro music action. So I'm working on a lot of stuff, but I appreciate your fun and humor, and you know we appreciate what you do. You're a hardworking glass cleaner, and you know you've got the years of experience to back it up. So hats off to you, Jay.
It's all fun, fellas. You know what I mean? It's like life's too serious every day to like take, you know, things that aren't serious. And like I said, it's the internet. You know, I thought it was hilarious.
Yeah. Thank you.
Outstanding. And you know what's great too is I feel like our community as a whole is kind of, this sounds weird, but I feel like we're kind of growing up. You know what I mean? It's like we're all it feels like most of us are treating each other with a little more respect, a little more love, a little more, you know, a little less hostility, if you catch my drift, you know?
Oh, and I used to be an asshole back in the day on the groups. Like people would come at me, I come at them 100 times harder. And it's like, you know, you grow up, you mature, and you just, like I said, it's just, you let stuff roll off your back. It's the internet. It's not even that serious.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Exactly.
So we're wrapping up the end of the month, right? It's been a crazy beginning of January, a crazy beginning of 2026. Have you guys had any nice wins? Any big wins for Jay? Any big wins for John's window cleaning? How is 2026 kicking off for you?
Well, I'm returning 10 techs next year, this year, I mean, in 2026 from 2025, which is very good. I am also in the process of hiring a salesman.
Cool.
I've already done phone interviews. I've set up some in-person interviews. And you guys know, you see certain things in your business, you can only tap out at so much. So for me, in my business, the next thing is to have a salesman out there. And just getting through the winter, man. It's in anywhere in a cold weather climate where you are seasonal, it's all about surviving the winter. That's like, we're 1 month through already. We survived January. Now we have February. It's a short month, 28 days.
Yeah.
And once March 1st gets here, everybody knows, like for me, the first 2 weeks of March are like February. But once like the 13th, the 15th gets, like you said, it's just like a rocket ship.
Yeah, it's insane. The phone starts ringing, people start buying, your schedule fills up quick. And if you're not prepared for that kind of stuff, it can also can almost be overwhelming. I was at back in, we mentioned the COVID era, even up until 2022. At that point, I was typically 2 to 3 weeks out. There also weren't 100 window cleaners, in the same 50-mile radius at that point. Yeah. I think there was probably like 10. So that helped kind of, I don't know, take away from some of the business. But at the same point, those weren't the clients that I wanted in the first place anyways. So what are some of your goals for this first quarter of the year?
So for Q1, it's just to work on systems. I'm very big on systems in the wintertime, just different systems and processes for the business. The beautiful thing about working on it over the last 3 to 4 years, is that now it's just like tweaking the systems. But sure. One cautionary tale I would like to put out there to people is I scaled the wrong way. All right.
Hold on. Yeah. Listen up, everybody.
I scaled without systems. I didn't really start to put systems in place until I was at about $600,000, which is totally wrong. Even how my techs do the jobs, like I have pay grades now. So I have crew leader, tech, assistant tech, laborer, and it's all outlined what you need to do to get to the next position. I didn't have any of that stuff. And it made scaling a lot harder because I had to invest a lot more time into getting those systems, and I had to kind of rein some things back in, as if I had systems in place, it would have been easier.
Got it. So we have a Cody Smith 2026 is a zero system. Damian wants to know, do you utilize EDDM? Hey, I'm going to step away for 1 second, but go ahead and answer that question. Do you utilize EDDM? And if not, what are some of your most effective methods of advertising?
So no EDDM. I've never done EDDM, so I cannot speak to that. So for advertising, paid advertising, we do hardly anything. We'll do some door hangers, some yard signs, but I do not advertise on Google. I don't do boosted Facebook, boosted Instagram. I'm more organic. I try to network referrals and repeat customers. I'm very big on follow-up. So Deeds, you know this, you get 100 estimates, 50 to 60 might say yes, but what happens with that other 40? So we're very big on following up. We even in 2026, my office admin will call estimates from 2025 that told us no, and just say, hey, our price is still good. Wondering, see if you want to have it done. Does it always work? No, but sometimes clients, they will say, I didn't like the person, or I didn't even have it done. And you just kind of pick up more revenue that way. And also too, with the repeat clients, people focus on new clients. I try to focus on getting clients to repeat, because the new client, you've already done all the hard work. And if you can get them to repeat, the job, it's going to go quicker. And normally on a repeat client, your profit margin is higher than a first-time clean.
Yes.
When you're reaching out to clients, are you calling? Are you texting? Are you emailing? Are you doing all three? And if someone is making that call, who's making that phone call? Jay, is it you? Is it someone else on staff? How does that go about?
So we try to have the most convenient way the client wants to communicate. So if they want email, we'll email them. If they're more of a text, we will text. If they prefer the phone call, we will call them. But every client, they get called at least one time a year. We do reach out to them via phone call. And I don't do that myself. It's somebody in the office. I have one full-time admin, 40 hours a week in-house. I have yes, nice. It's a big expense. 52 weeks out of even in the cold season now when we're slow. In-house, 40 hours a week. And then I have another part-time that's about 15 to 20 hours a week.
Yeah, I don't even put in 40. I mean, I guess I do if you add up all the other stuff that I'm doing throughout the week, but like, I don't think about it that way. I guess I probably do put in 40-hour weeks, but it's not physical work. And I probably should think about it that way. It's usually mental. And sometimes that makes me a little crazy, but yeah. Well, I'm getting all sorts of knowledge from you today, Jay. This is good shit, man.
That's another thing, Goo. I was still doing admin work up to 600,000 in revenue. Like, I didn't have an admin until 2023. So this will be in April, it will be 3 full years of having an admin in office. So I was literally wearing all the hats until 600, on the truck working, doing the office. And it burned me out. It made me devote a lot of time to the business. And I also saw that this was not feasible to continue to keep going. And one of the biggest things my coach pushed me to do was get an admin and to get my ass off the truck.
So my first huge was 2023, and I was burnt. Like I said, I had about 4 years at that point of everything on my own. And it wasn't a part-time gig anymore. It had become a full-time gig, and I was wearing all those hats, answering every text, and I still do all this shit, but it's a little less because I'm not in the field as much. But it was burning me out. And I remember, and I've told this story a couple times too, I remember standing at on the bridge in Nashville at the old Opryland, by the cantina, by that bar when you walk into the entryway. And I was basically breaking down what I was going through in my head to Jersey. And it was the first time I had met him. I had text messaged him a couple times. I'd emailed him or whatever. But I was breaking it down to him. And I was just like, dude, I don't know if my brain can take this anymore. And he basically told me, it sounds like you know what you need to do. And I was like, I told him, yeah, but at that point I was like, no, I don't know what I need to do. You know what I mean? Like I was trying to soak it all in and take all that information. And I was like, wait, what is he telling me? You know what I mean? Like sometimes it takes months down the road to understand what someone is telling you. But when it finally clicks and it finally hits, it's like music to the ears and music to the brain. And you finally put all those pieces together and it helps make everything work a little smoothly. But a lot of times, you know, you mentioned too, you try one thing and it doesn't work, and then you have to dial it back and then try again. So if at first you don't succeed, try again, right, guys?
Keith Kalfas puts it, and his Zen way of putting it is lesson repeated until lesson learned. You're going to keep doing the wrong thing over and over again until you realize what you're supposed to do, and then you're going to break out of that cycle, and then on to the next one. You know, just got to change it.
And it's scary to do those things. It's scary to.
It's scary as shit.
I mean, I'll be the first to admit I had to get out of my own way. I had to look in the mirror and say, I am the one that needs to change in order for this business to grow. I'll be fully transparent. I fired one time when I was in the field. I think this was 2019, might have been 2020 when COVID first started, but I fired a guy because he didn't set the job up the way that I liked.
Mm-hmm.
Was that a lesson learned? I mean, would you do it again? I mean,
never. I would never do it again. And I had a guy that had worked with us for a while, worked with my dad for a while, and he told me, you know, nobody will ever work for you unless you don't change. And at the time, I did take it personally. I'm not gonna lie. But I looked in the mirror, I really thought about it, and that person, Andre, he doesn't work with us anymore. But Dre, he told me, like, he was telling me that out of love, not to hurt me.
Yeah.
He was saying, if you want to take that next step, you have to change. And I don't mean to offend anybody with what I'm about to say, but if you're somebody that says, oh, nobody wants to work for me, I can't hire anybody, I can't do, no, it's you, you're the problem. And Brandon Vaughn, I'm not sure if you guys are familiar with him, but he started Conquer with Josh Latimer. He used to say, and this is one of my favorite sayings from Brandon, is when you're pointing the finger at somebody else, there's three pointing back at you.
That's right.
So not to change topic, but Craig says, Jay, if you get to Orlando, we have to sit down again. Not like in Nashville, though. We need to sit somewhere that's not loud and obnoxious.
We're at the bar.
Dude, so that's the Fuse Bar. You know what's funny is you mentioned being there. I think you and I were in the bar at the same time, but we were at different ends, and we never crossed paths. So I'm really glad that we get an opportunity to do this now, because I've been watching your stuff for quite some time. And I am a fan of yours. And I like the way that you're also making moves and making adjustments and changing a lot of, like you just said, if you can't adapt and adjust your own personality traits, you're not going to necessarily get to the peaks that you want to get to. So when we as people make those adjustments and make those changes and continue to learn from our mistakes, it just makes us better people and better human beings and better business owners. So kudos to you for that one.
Life's all about growth and evolving. Like, I feel like every day you should learn something new, and you should try to get 1% better every day.
Hell to the yeah. So we're going to pretty much start wrapping up the show here shortly, but I feel like there's still a little more that we can get out of this conversation. What are some of your go-tos if and when, I know you said you're not on the glass much anymore, but if and when you're out in the field, what is your preferred setup? Are you rocking a belt? Are you carrying everything in your bucket? What's your go-to squeegee and what's your go-to mop?
I'm an Unger slut. I love Unger.
He said, I'm an Unger slut.
I love Unger. So it's the Unger belt for us. And then I give my guys an option between the Unger pouch and the Maker pouch. Or not Maker. What's the blue one?
The Mormon?
The Mormon. Some of the guys like the Mormon better because it's a little smaller.
And a little lighter.
Exactly. And some like the Unger one because it's bigger. I like the Unger because I can put more stuff in there.
The Ergo pouch, yeah.
When I was in the field, I was a big fan of coming out to the truck the least amount of time as possible.
Yeah.
Like when I'm in the house, I want to be in the house until I'm pretty much done. So with that bigger pouch, you can fit everything in there. I'm a big fan of the Unger Boab. That's what I use. And then also the Unger T-Bar, and I use the Ergotech squeegee.
Yeah.
The Ninja Ergotech.
Yeah.
I like with that how you can lock the handle, you can get it to swivel. There's many different options with that because you guys know sometimes you need it locked, sometimes you need to put it on a pole and get that angle on it. And that's my setup. It's very simple, very easy. 6-inch scraper. I'll use the I forget
Triumph?
what it
Triumph.
Yes, Triumph, because I
popular.
like that one better than Unger. I like the little angle. I
was just going to ask, you like the angle or the straight?
I like the angle.
Awesome.
But we will use the Unger blades in the Triumph because from my experience, I like the Unger blades more, razor blades more than the Triumph ones. So we'll buy the ones in the green pack and we'll use those in the 6-inch.
Nice. So before we get out of here too, we like to celebrate some wins that we all have, right? And have you had any big wins this week, Jay? Because I think Mark and I would like to share a couple of wins for us, but I want to hear if you've had any big wins this week.
No big wins. It's just getting through January. Like I said, getting through January for me is very it's not easy all the time, especially being in the seasonal climate. And also this January has been really rough with the cold weather and the snow. So just getting through January, like I told my guys yesterday, one more month and then it's March.
Got it. So you did. That is a huge win then. So it's not just a weekly win. That is a huge monthly win because today is the 30th and we're almost done. One last question real quick. That is a serious question from Mike Nichols. Is Mark's belly button an innie or an outie? He looks like an outie to me.
This one?
Deeds? Deeds, are you an innie or an outie?
I'm an innie. Innie buttons.
Only the serious shit gets taken care of on the Goo and Deeds podcast.
Never been an outie. I've ridden an outie before.
So real quick, we'd like to also Deeds, you had a nice little win yesterday.
I sure did.
On the Window Cleaning Nation page, they did something with WCR yesterday. And why don't you tell all of our friends what happened for you yesterday?
Yeah, Window Cleaning Nation, the admins there, Jake, James, and Grace, they've got a really nice Facebook page going, awesome stuff where window cleaners can connect. But they've teamed up with WCR and did a giveaway. They're going to do a monthly giveaway, January, February, March, April, where they're giving away a $2,000 gift card. So you just got to watch, comment. So I was lucky. I commented on the post yesterday during their live. They did the wheel of luck spinning, and I ended up winning a $2,000 gift certificate. So that was a huge win and awesome because there's a few supplies that I need. But what I want to do is I want to give a lot of it back. So we're going to be doing some giveaways and stuff here throughout the year, sending stuff out to you lucky window cleaners for participating. But I do want to give a shout out to Window Cleaning Nation and their page and everything they do. And again, to Zero and WCR. It's awesome. So I know Damien and I are very lucky. So I'm probably not going to enter any more of those giveaway contests for the rest of the year. Let everyone else and Damien have a chance at it.
Absolutely.
But we're going to be giving it back. So it's cool.
Yeah, Deeds is all about paying it forward, which is amazing. And it is funny because right before the spinning wheel came out, Deeds has he texted me, not in the chat room, but he's like, Damien, congratulations, Damien. And I replied, it's going to be somebody with a multiple syllable last name because I find that to be true. Klodzinski and Schreckengoss tend to win a bunch of shit. So it was awesome for Deeds to win. It's crazy. Yeah, $2,000 worth of stickers is what Tyler says. Yes. I don't think that's the route he's going to go, but I know Deeds to be very generous, and I'm sure he'll find a good way to make sure that some of our friends get to take advantage of his luck. Mike Nichols says, Deeds, buy me a Zero Atom.
No, I'm going to get 2,000 off of a skid mark. I'm going to place my order today and get a nice deal. But speaking of stickers real quick.
That's one win that we had this week. I would love to share some news that I found out this week too. You were talking about being an Unger slut. Yours truly nominated for the 2025 Unger Window Cleaner of the Year. It was just announced that yours truly is the recipient of the Unger 2025 Window Cleaner of the Year. Thank you.
That's awesome.
It is awesome. It is amazing. It is wild. I'm honored. I just told you guys that story about sharing with Jersey in 2023, how I could make an impact in our community, and how my story and how everything could maybe help people, right? I'm a recovering alcoholic, a fucking convicted felon, and life wasn't always great for me, right? But when we make good decisions and we treat people with love and kindness and respect and honor, and that love word that I use, it's true, right? And I don't know how or why somebody found it to be kind enough to put my name in the running, but to see where 2025 took me personally, took Deeds and myself and the Goo and Deeds podcast, how things just, it's magical, bro. Like I'm shocked, I'm in awe, and I'm extremely grateful. And I just want to say thank you to everybody who's continued to support Mark and myself, for all of our guests who have come onto the show. This whole thing is a love child from these conventions that we attend. And for Mark and I to do this by ourselves in the beginning, and then for people to give us love and support, and then for the guests like yourself, Jay, to keep coming on and sharing their stories. That's what I really feel that this industry is about, is stories, evolution, growth. And you mentioned that earlier. If we're not growing, we're dying, basically, Yeah. So for those people to recognize me, and this is an us thing too, Mark, and I want Mark to know this too. I may be the name on it, but it's an us thing. It's a community thing. It is for every single person ever popped into the Goo and Deeds pod, every single guest, for all the people that I visited this summer who were nice enough to give me time. Heart of America Window Cleaning in Kansas, Steve-O, Jersey, all these cats, Mike Matthews, Sam Emerson, Fletcher Denning, all these people that were kind enough to share wisdom, to share time, to share hugs, Mike Nichols, Zane Amerson, just the list goes on and on. So it may be Jason Gulick that says that, but in all honesty, it's every single person who's been along for this journey. So I'm honored, and I can't wait to see everybody in Orlando next month. I guess I'll be getting some kind of award, and I look forward to partying with all you cats,
Party on, Wayne.
Kittens. It's going to be a fun time. So Frank was the first. I didn't see the announcement come across this morning. Frank Rave gave me a shout right as the show came on. Congratulations, Jason. I can't wait to see you and hug you and party. And Frank awesome. Rave, my man, if you're still on, I can't wait to see you. I can't wait to hug you. I can't wait. When he hugs me, my feet will probably be like 3 feet off the ground, and that's all good to me. I can't wait for that big old bear hug. So
bear hugs.
It's been a great week of wins. We as people take losses a lot of times in life. You stack up losses, but when you stack up those wins, baby, it's all worth it. So if I can share one thing with everybody that's listening, just keep fighting, keep going, keep being good, and great things happen, man. Our industry is amazing. We treat people with love, respect, and kindness, and it is reciprocated. I can tell you from my heart that this is true. So I just had,
you deserve it, buddy. You did awesome.
I love you, bro. And seriously, this is something that we share together. And Jay, I'm glad that you're here on this too, because you take this same love back to your staff and your people and your community. And it's a win for all of us, to be honest. So it's just been a wonderful week, and I'm glad that we both got some big wins this week, Deeds, and I can't wait to keep paying it forward.
I voted for you. In full disclosure, I voted.
Nice.
Thank you. It's been a wild week, and I didn't know what to expect or what to say, and I won't know what to say until I get up there, and if I have to give a speech, I'll do that too. But just know it's for everybody. Wu-Tang is for the children, and window cleaning is for everybody. I really do hope you get a chance to make it out there, Jay. It'll be a great time to get to connect with you. One thing that we do like to do on this show is also let our guests give some love and some shout outs to those who've affected them and help them along the way. You mentioned, some people before. You have a coach. Is there anybody that you'd like to give a shout out to?
So yeah, I'd like to give a big shout out to my former coach, Caleb. Really, really helped me out tremendously. I say this all the time, but Caleb, he really did change my life with changing my mentality and how I think of business. And
Nice.
I also like to give a shout out to my team, because without them, this is not possible.
Yeah.
I understand that it's not a one-man show. It is bigger picture than one person. And I'm very, very thankful for my team. And this is kind of going to segue into this real quick. But also, I just want to give a quick shout out to my parents and my sister.
Hell yeah.
My parents, they've been having some health issues over the last couple months. I mean, my mom's been in and out of the hospital 4 times in December.
Sorry.
And yeah, thank you. She's getting better, which is really good. And but in November, I was rarely around the business. Same thing in December. And without my team, I couldn't imagine how I'd be able to, go to the hospital, spend 4 to 5 hours with her, make sure she's good, and then also be able to get the work done and still be able to bring money in and still have the business run. So that's why I'm very, very grateful to my team. And I'm also, like I said, I just want to give a shout out to my parents and my sister, because, my dad's taught me a lot. My parents have taught me a lot in general over the years, just about perseverance and things like that. So
Nice.
Well, I don't know if
family is important.
Yeah, and Deej, you nailed it on the head too. One of the things, Jay, that we do is, sometimes we talk about our faith, right? And sometimes full disclosure, I'm Christian, and I'm a believer, right? And I'll ask for people, if they're believers, to send prayers out. And if you believe in energy, or if you believe in something else, whatever it is your faith, or however it is that you think of others, send it out to Jay and his family. Thoughts, prayers, energy, whatever it is, karma, voodoo, I don't know, whatever it is people believe in. If you feel, if you are so inclined, send it out to Jay and his family, because nothing better than seeing people get together for a good reason. And much love to you and your family.
Appreciate it.
Absolutely, of course. Deeds, who you got?
Thank you guys. Thanks everybody. Thanks Jay, and thank you for coming on the show. It's a pleasure. We're glad to pick your brain, and you're a very successful entrepreneur. You've been growing and scaling your business for years, and so thank you for giving back and putting these videos out to help the guys who are kind of scratching their heads wondering what they should do next. I'm a solo guy who's coming to the realization that I'll be 50 in 10 years, but I've got to start thinking ahead. Like, do I drop Mr. Deeds? Do I hire employees? And so, it's definitely something I'm going to be thinking about, getting some techs out or something the next year, because I do need to scale. I need to grow my business. I need to have exponential growth, because, at this point in my life, 3 kids, married, mortgage, I've got to work a little harder and get more work out there. So I really have to get some systems in place to fine tune my business so I can live comfortably and do all these fun things, that we're put here on earth to do. So just want to thank you for coming on and sharing all your knowledge. Thank you, Jason. Thank you for being there and being an awesome +1 partner here.
Yeah, man.
Thank you, Window Cleaning Nation. Those guys rock. If you're not a member of their page, go check it out. They've got, really awesome content that they're putting out every day, and it's a really good forum. And thank you, Kylie, for everything she does behind the scenes. And I want to say thanks to anybody that can make it out to the IWCA. We have some pretty cool stickers that are going to be exclusive for anybody that can make it out to that networking coffee. So we look forward to seeing you guys there. And yeah, thank you, everybody.
For sure. You nailed it on the head. Everybody that comes in and pops in these pods, anybody that reaches out to us and lets us know that, hey, we're doing all right. That means a lot to us. There are a couple people too. What did Mike say? There's a couple people in here that I wanted to say something to, and now I can't find their text. Juan Carlos Alanis, we wanted to give a shout out to him. He's been popping in the last couple of days, saying what up. Cody Smith, thank you for popping in. There's some other people too. Oh, Corey Klimas. Apparently he was sending out some emails. So I appreciate you, Corey, for giving me a nomination and helping try to get this in my hands. It's a pretty cool honor. I'm really excited to be there with all you guys. And one last thing, Jay, Craig says, just pull the trigger. You know you won it. So hopefully we'll see you there. It's going to be a great time to everybody who attends. And I guess that's a wrap on a Friday. Anything else?
Friday
Thank you for
love.
having me on, fellas. I really appreciate it. I appreciate everything you guys do, man.
Jay, I actually had a question for you real quick. How many episodes have you filmed for your project so far? How many have you put out, and how many more do we have to expect?
So I filmed, I think, a little over 20. I think I'm close to 25. I try to keep them to the 5-minute intervals. I've put out, I believe, 12 so far. The last week with the snow, I got a little off track, but I need to upload more. And I don't know how many I'm going to do in total, but probably be somewhere around, I would say, 40 to 50, just because there's a bunch of different ideas. I want to keep them to 5 minutes attention span. I feel like if somebody watches something for 5 minutes instead of 20 or 30, it catches them a lot more.
Yeah. Are you going to put them on YouTube? Or are you going to create a channel so you can get a list of the 20? Or I see you're putting them on the pro window page.
I am going to do it on YouTube. This is the thing, though. I'm thinking about hiring like a VA just part-time to do that stuff for me, because I don't want to take my office admin away from that. I want them focusing on John's window cleaning. I mean, as it is now, I have one of my guys film it for me. So, it is a little bit of an investment for me to do this, but I'm a big fan of paying it forward. I didn't bring this up before, but my dad ingrained in me, pay it forward, help people out whenever you can.
Great.
Because when my dad started, there was nobody helping. Like, you would go talk to another window cleaner and it's like you were trying to take their work.
Yeah. And I apologize. That was one of the main things that I wanted to cover having you on. And I apologize for not getting to this. So I am going to kind of get into that again real quick before we hang up. If you have another 2 or 3 minutes,
I don't have a hard stop, so I'm good.
Okay. Deej, are you good?
I'm good.
Okay. What are 3 to 5 of the topics that you're covering in these videos that you've been doing?
Okay. So I'm covering tracking your numbers and the power of that, and the different types of numbers you can track. So a lot of people, they think of just basic KPIs like man hour, close rate, net profit, gross profit, but there's also many other numbers you can track, such as your percentage of revenue by town. So those were the last 2 videos that I put up. And actually, when I went to go get a shop, so I ran a home office until 2022. And then I went and rented a shop in Fairfield, which is about 10 minutes from where I live. And if I rented a shop in my town, I would have double the space for the same amount of rent. However, a lot of my work starts in the town that my shop is in, and it goes south. So there's some days we don't have to jump on the highway. I mean, my guys, they got to be at a house at 9. If it's close to the shop, they get there at 8:40. So it cuts down on the windshield time. So I saw by tracking the numbers that a lot of my work, majority of my work, was in these specific areas. So instead of paying techs 20, 30 minutes of extra drive time per each way, that I can get the shop there, and it would be beneficial from a numbers perspective. So that, also the power of networking, marketing, and referrals. I have a couple videos where I explain exactly how we network, the referrals and the repeat customers. Like referrals, I'm going to go in depth into how we get them. I believe like you shouldn't have to have a referral program. If a customer is really happy with your service, they're going to rave about you. They're going to refer you. It's when they're truly happy with your service.
Yeah.
Basically what we were talking about earlier. And it's like when you build that rapport and you build that friendship and you build that trust, people are going to go out of their way to tell others about the service that they just had.
Correct. And like I said, I just from my experience, when a customer is truly happy with from beginning to end, they will give you referrals and they will also repeat. But also I want to show the growth of revenue and how you get stuck at different stages. And also like how I explained, like me getting off the truck. If I would have been off the truck a year earlier, I would have been able to maybe hit that $1 million revenue mark in 2024 instead of 2025.
have you set numbers that you're trying? Are you a goal setter? Do you have a number in your mind that you're like, look, I want to or need to hit this number this year?
Yes. So I actually set 3 goals. I set one that I believe is easy that we could achieve, one that's like middle of the road that will be not easy but not hard, and then I set like what I call a J goal. And my J goal is like, so this year on the low end it's 1.3, the middle is 1.5, and my J goal is 1.75.
Nice.
And then
Those are good goals.
I'll go ahead, Deed. Sorry.
No, with the right systems, you can achieve your goals, and that's what you're getting at. Is you set these systems like an autopilot that'll just like turn the crank, and like your revenue will just climb as long as you've got the right systems in.
Yes, and also 2 videos that I'm going to release soon. I show how tracking your numbers, so knowing what percentage of revenue comes each month, and what I explained in one of my previous videos is because then you know how to forecast your revenue for each month. Like Deeds, you know this, you're in Houston, but you're not doing the same revenue January through December. It's not an average of 50,000 a month.
Yep.
Exactly. So you need to know when to hit the gas. So like I explained in one of our videos, almost 40% of the revenue comes in May, June, and July. So then we're hitting our customers heavy. Like that's when people want to buy. And also I tell my guys, take advantage of all the hours you can, work all the hours you can, because this is our busy time. It does slow down a little in August and September. So it's really like part of what my coach taught me with modeling and like setting your goal is you need to break that down into what you need every month. And I get one of the videos is going to be touching on this. I know over the last 3 years how many days we have worked every month. So I know how much revenue I have to do every day in that specific month to hit my goal.
God damn.
Yeah.
In some aspects, I wish I was that knowledgeable. In some aspects, I'm like, that makes my head hurt.
But I have a finance degree with an accounting minor. So like numbers for me are like,
I see numbers and I start spinning and I feel like I get confused and scared. I'm kind of like that guy that you mentioned when he walks into a house and you don't want them to get overwhelmed because all they see is glass everywhere and they get freaked out and then they run out. That's me with numbers.
Yeah. But numbers are I even had to learn to love numbers. Like I never used to get that granular. It would just be like gross profit, net profit, man hour. I mean, also too, like man hour. I'm going to go into detail in this. I do fully loaded man hour from the time my guys leave the shop until the time they get back. Some people, they do it on the job, but like I pay hourly with a production bonus. So when my guys are driving, it's costing me money. So that's why there's a difference in that number. If you just do the man hour on the job, it's going to look a lot better. But I believe what is the fully loaded man hour? Like what are they producing every hour that they're on the clock? So I'll go into more detail about that. But there's just different philosophies out there and nothing's right, nothing's wrong. But what I always tell people is, pick and choose what fits your business best.
And it's hard sometimes for some of us to realize, and we kind of touched on this earlier too. Sometimes it's a growing, we have to fail to succeed, right? You have to learn, hey, that's not going to work for me. This is what's going to work for me. So if it doesn't work the first time, don't get stressed out and don't find yourself or thinking that you're a failure. Just try again, right?
You want to know the difference between people that succeed and fail? They get up when they fail. Like people that succeed, they failed more than people that fail try.
Yeah.
Jay, you're a bright guy.
I mean, it's like I failed many times. But the thing is with me, I get up and I try. And I try again. And even I'll share this story. So when I was in Conquer, it wasn't a group coaching. It was myself, 3 other people, same size businesses when I got in. And then one gentleman, he would ask my coach why he didn't grow at the rate that I did. And my coach told him that I make a decision and then I go. I analyze it once we're halfway through. I see if it doesn't work, I scrap it. If it works, we keep going. But when you're toying with making a decision and you're waffling back and forth, I've already made 3 decisions. And one of them might not have worked. One of them we might have to adjust and one might be golden. So my thing for people is get out there and try. When you fail, don't worry about it. Just get up and keep trying and trying again.
Yeah. And Conquer's a pretty good course. I mean, I met a guy, Jay, I can't remember his name off the top of my head, but he was in the Christmas light course that I took, in Atlanta, the huge. And I've seen him at the past couple huge events. And every year he's got a couple more employees. And it's just amazing how the guy who just him and his brother worked it. Now he's got like 7 employees, a couple trucks. It's like, damn, that Conquer really does work. It's time investing and,
But it's also implementing. You could absorb all the courses, all the YouTube video, like you can absorb all the knowledge you want, but if you don't implement, what's the point of absorbing that knowledge?
Right. Exactly.
It takes up space.
Yep.
No, that's right. And just one thing about Conquer, I don't Conquer helped me out a lot. It really did. But Conquer changed drastically once House Call Pro bought it. I don't want to get into details and stuff like that.
Sure.
I'm not here to bash anybody, but
I like that.
It just I always tell people, do your research. Before
Sure.
I joined Conquer, I looked at 2 other coaching programs. And I tell people, do your research, know who you're working with. For me, it was important to work with somebody that was in the window cleaning, pressure washing field, and also somebody that was in a cold weather climate like mine. Because my coach, he's out of Michigan, so he knows what I deal with in the wintertime.
Yeah.
Makes sense. Well, Jay, let me say this, and we will wrap this up now. I have a lot of respect for you, the way you carry yourself, humility, honesty, integrity, and you're showing it. You're talking the talk, but you're walking the walk. And I want to say thanks for being a guest on the Goo and Deeds pod, because you're a heck of a dude, man. I guess we'll go ahead and wrap it up. But I also don't know if you know this. Deeds always tells everybody something at the end of the show.
Change your rubbers, everybody. If you got a day
Change
off,
your rubbers. And I try to tell people
change.
0 streaks. And I try to tell people to keep that passion bucket full. And if it's not full, keep tuning in to Goo and Deeds, and we're going to try and help you get that bucket full and overflowing. We want to wish you all a great weekend. And again, Jay, you kicked ass today. Keep doing what you do, and take care of each other. Be kind. Stay up, stay gold, and have a great weekend, everybody. We will see you on Monday. Deeds, do we have a guest on Monday?
Monday, it's up in the air there, but I don't think we do. Nope. Let me check my map here. What? Monday. I don't think so. I think Monday. Actually, yes, we do. We got Carlos Gonzalez with Enviro.
Jay, what you know about cargo?
I've seen a couple here and there. I don't know much, but I like all the guests you guys have, man. You guys have a wide range of guests, and I get a lot of value out of all the videos you guys do.
So Carlos Gonzalez is one of the best when it comes to solutions, cleaning solutions that there is. He also is doing a pressure washing power wash class at the IWCA, PWNA, Elevate. So it's going to be a great time to track him down. People will get all sorts of different questions answered. So if you have any questions about soap solutions training, tune in Monday. Deeds, thank you for having that information for us handy. I forgot. And I can't wait to see everybody on Monday. You guys take care of yourselves, take care of each other, and we'll catch you on the flip side. Monday, 8:30 Eastern. Stay up, stay gold. And again, Jay, you kicked ass today. Way to go, brother.
Thank you, fellas. Appreciate you having me on.
Chat soon,
guys. Have a good morning.
Peace.